3:30 on TNT. It is the 11 seed Tulane, the Green Wave, 11-2 this year, won the American, going to Oxford, taking on the 6th seeded Ole Miss Rebels, who finished 11-1. They are a 17.5 point favorite. It's going to be Joe Tess and Jesse Palmer on the call. Again, this game on TNT.
Yeah.
They played earlier this year.
Yeah.
Ole Miss won 45-10. They had a 266-yard edge. It was never close. This was never a close game. Lane Kiffin up and left. Ole Miss has a home game. Maybe they'll go on a playoff run. I don't know. The coordinators are still there. Mm-hmm. So Pete Golding was elevated from defensive coordinator to full-time head coach. Charlie Weiss Jr. is going to be going with Lane Kiffin LSU, but he came back. He's going to be coaching the rest of the way here for the Rebs. How much of a factor do you think that plays? No Lane.
A good amount. Lane Kiffin is a very aggressive in-game manager with regard to fourth downs and how he calls the game. Not to say Charlie Weiss Jr. isn't a big part of the game planning and big part of those in-game decisions and doesn't have access to the same metrics Lane Kiffin has access to and, the same analytics cards, whatever, or probability cards, whatever they are. But it does feel very much like Ole Miss these past few years has been very reflective of Lane Kiffin's personality and appetite for aggression. So without Lane there, I just don't know that we're seeing this team coached with the same degree of confidence that also Pete Golding has been dealing with becoming a first-time SEC head coach on the fly.
Can I say something about that?
Please.
At the risk of making myself sound like an idiot and people out there clowning
We're far
me,
too late for that, the two of us.
We're far too late for that, yeah. Did you happen to see Pete Golding's opening message to his team when they first announced that he was going to be the head coach? He did the team meeting. You stood there before the team and kind of gave a few remarks. You happen to see that?
I did.
I was detecting zero swagger.
It's what I got a lot of my first dates in New York. Yeah.
Same. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's going to have a huge impact in this game. I think that's going a little too far afield. But moving forward, something to be mindful of, and it was a few minutes worth. Mm-hmm. And that's probably being tremendously unfair to Pete Golding, who's done a good job and, as much as he can earn that job. So but I'm just watching this and I'm thinking, I don't know how this is going to play long term. It didn't do it for me. I'm not a player. He's obviously been very good at what he does, but anyway, I'll put that to the side.
He's got to beat a team Ole Miss was already 35 points better than. So he has to be decent to win this game. He has to just kind of not screw it up.
I don't even think he needs to be decent.
They have to be 1 point better than Tulane, who doesn't do... I mean, we haven't really talked about the matchup itself, but obviously Ole Miss has thrown the ball super well with Trinidad Chambliss. Kejuan Lacey has had some huge games on the ground. They've shown a ton of balance on offense. You can run the ball a little bit on Ole Miss, but the defense did improve over the course of the season. And I just don't think Tulane does anything specifically well enough. They overwhelmed North Texas up front with their own pass rush, and that game was a weird back and forth with weird calls. I just think if you are going to pull an upset like this, even if they hadn't played, I would love to know I'd love to feel confident in a specific thing that Tulane will rally behind to win this game. And they can throw the ball some. Running has been a challenge. Defense has been sort of all over the place, up and down this year. They finished the season strong, but I just think there's too much speed. There's too much talent on Ole Miss, and I think they win this game by at least a couple touchdowns.
I said this a few weeks ago. Yeah. Tulane's offense looks a lot to me like the Aaron Roderick offense at BYU.
Yeah,
where it's not really, it's not really one thing. It's just sort of whatever it needs to be to win.
Right.
Which I'm not necessarily against.
And also, they're losing their coach, to be clear, as well.
And they're losing their coach.
Yeah.
But I'm not fundamentally against being a shape-shifting kind of offense. It can be a bear to game plan against that.
Agree.
And BYU has done that to great effect over the years. That's why Kalani Sitake got a huge raise, and they're thrilled to keep him. I mean, he does that. He's very good at it.
Yeah.
My problem with this matchup is it's all dependent on Jake Retzlaff. And if Ole Miss takes him away, it's over. That's exactly what happened the first time. He started the game 0 for 9. He finished 5 for 17 with 56 yards passing. I think he ran for 50 some odd yards. He was their main weapon on offense, but it just wasn't enough to get them anywhere close, anywhere to the same ballpark as Ole Miss. It was 23-3 at halftime. It was a scoreless third quarter, and then Ole Miss ran away and hid.
Right.
I think Ole Miss is going to come out with a chip on their shoulder after Lane abandoned them. I really do. And regardless of what I think of Pete Golding, I think they're going to win this one going away. I don't think it's as lopsided as the first time around. It wouldn't surprise me if there is a bit of hiccups here now with a new head coach stepping in and getting the big boy chair. And there's going to be a little bit of a feeling out period in this game. But I don't have a really good reason to go with Tulane, be it with the points or outright.
They did play more recently, right? So there is the rust factor with Ole Miss. Obviously, the game's
but they're
in
not
Oxford.
as good. They're not as good.
They're
not as good. They're not as talented. I've got it at 37-17.
Yeah, I think I said 31-17, 31-18, something like that. I think it's double digits, but not as pronounced. I just think there are going to be some growing pains for Pete Golding. Not in this one, but you could see them falling down 10-0. Who they had, Georgia. If they win this game, they fall down 10-0, and then just like they're all over the place and they're having to call timeouts that they shouldn't be calling because of procedural stuff and getting lined up, and nobody knows what they're doing on 4th and 2 and taking too much time. And I don't think that's going to happen against Tulane.
Now,
here we are.
If you're an Ole Miss fan, and if you're just sort of digesting everything that transpired over the last month with your coach leaving and all that hullabaloo around it, having a first-round playoff game against Tulane is actually a nice little runway for your new coaching staff. It's actually a nice little runway. Get used to the playoff setting, get the swing of it before you get to the big boys, or the bigger boys, I should say. Play Georgia next round if you win.